your husband, show him some love. Come on, somebody. Watch verse 2. Watch verse 2. When they see your modest and respectful, not disrespectful behavior, respectful behavior together with your devotion and your appreciation. Love your husband. Here it is. Encourage him and enjoy him as a what? Enjoy him as a blessing from God. You know, I was talking to my wife the other day. I was power reading Colossians. I said, man, oh no, I was power reading Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, power reading. I said, man, if we can just take our time, not preach it, just read the word to the people, God, that will transform their lives. There's a lack of reading God's word. We give a lot of stories behind this pulpit. We give a lot of analogies behind this pulpit, but we're not just preaching the word. And I thought about it the other night. I said, wow, when the first century church started, Paul just told them to read the letters. That was their church. They weren't supposed to expound on it. They were simply supposed to take Paul's letter and read it to the church. We're not doing that. We're trying to get one piece of the principle and expound on it and say, okay, everybody, amen. But today, I want you to read it so you're going to think I'm making this up. If we read what the apostles tell the first century church, we will receive the grace and the blessing they receive. Listen, he tells the women, treat them as a blessing, not as a curse. And whenever you're treating your spouse as a curse and not a blessing, you're going to get results that are coming from the curse perception. Whenever you have the perception of a curse, you're going to attract that into your space. So he says here, they need encouragement. When the husband is not encouraged by wife, he cannot go forward. When the husband is not encouraged by the one that's connected to him, he won't prevail in life. The wife has the ability to encourage him. And she said, your adornment must not be merely external with interweaving and elaborate knotting of the hair and wearing gold jewelry or being superficially preoccupied with dressing in expensive clothes. You love to look the part. You love to look anointed, but you know you're a monster. You love to look beautiful, but you know that demon's right behind those clothes that you're wearing. But let it be, here it is, the inner beauty of the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable quality and unfading charm of a gentle and peaceful spirit, one that is calm and self-controlled, not over-anxious. See, over-anxious. He's not giving me all that I want right now, so I'm going to disrespect them. I didn't like the way he said this to me, so I'm going to disrespect them. Not over-anxious, but serene and spiritually. Man, we're living in a dangerous world. Well, I'm coming for you men too. I'm coming for y'all. But let me just exegete this part. We're living in a dangerous world where I believe there is a lack of true mothers of Zion. There's a lack of mothers in God that are living by the word of God. They live longevity in church, but they have the word in them. They don't read their Bible. They don't read about marriage. They don't read about parenting. But all of a sudden, they're in church for years and years. And they give that same paradigm to the women who are just getting saved. And they are raising children of the devil just like themselves. No, God said a true, mature woman of God is soaked in the word of God to obey it and apply it to their life. And they know how to raise up spiritual daughters after their paradigm. Don't you know, women of God, you're setting the pace for other women. If you don't have a prayer life, if you don't truly support your husband, you're setting that example for other women. And in their mind, they're thinking it's okay. We're in a society where women are saying, I'm married to a man of God, so let me treat him any type of way. Because if he walk out on me, I'm going to tell him he's not a man of God. We're living in a time where women are hiding behind the cloak of anointed men of God and say, hey, I'm going to act like the devil. If you talk about me, I'm going to tell him, that's not God. You're supposed to love me. Someone say, you Jezebel spirit, you. Instead of being daughters of Sarah, they have become daughters of Jezebel. And God says, I'm trying to change that because I'm trying to bring my kingdom into the house. I'm trying to bring my kingdom into the domestic sphere so that the children may receive the blessings of the Lord. Okay, y'all don't believe me. Let me go back to reading the Bible again. Okay, y'all don't believe me. Okay, go to verse 5. That's why I love reading the Bible, because I think it is just me. Pastor must be going through. No, I'm just reading this Bible. I'm going to show you. Look at verse 5. For in this way, someone say this way, in former times, the what? True mothers, the holy women, not one woman, holy women, someone say holy women, who hope in God, used to adorn themselves, being submissive to their own husband and adapting themselves to them. See, that's the thing. The secret for a successful kingdom wife and a kingdom mother is to learn how to adapt to the model of the husband. Just as Sarah obeyed Abraham, look at that, following him and having regard for him as the head of their house, calling him, does your Bible say that? She called him Lord, not donkey. Come on, somebody. Not bro. Hey, friend. She called him. And you, watch this, and you have become daughters of Jezebel. This is the text. You have become her. In other words, she set an example for you to follow, and if you follow her example, you are her daughters. If you don't follow Sarah's example, who is a kingdom mother paradigm, you're following another paradigm. Let me get back to exegeting the text. That's why people don't like the exegesis of the text. They want you to preach a word. When we start exegeting this text, like, oh, hold on. Did the Bible say that? I didn't see that there. I didn't see that there last day. What says it? Watch this. Here it is. To do what is right without being frightened by any fear, that is being respectful toward your husband, but not giving in to intimidation. Don't be intimidated, submitting. Come on, somebody. Don't be intimidated, yielding yourself. Don't allow the devil to cause you to operate in the fear of authority. See, the reason why people are not receiving the blessing is because they fear authority. Authority is meant to bless you. Okay, I know someone did you wrong. I know you experienced hurt in the past, but that's the past. All things will pass away. Now it's time for you to trust God again and keep on loving. Oh, watch this. And here, he says, not allow yourself to be led into sin, nor to be harmed. In the same way, you husbands, don't say husbands, live with your wife in an understanding way with great gentleness and tact, with an intelligent regard for the marriage relationship. There should be an intelligent regard for the marriage relationship, which means that if the husband is not the architect of his house, if the husband is not building his wife and children emotionally and spiritually and mentally, he is out of order. He's going to cause the enemy to come into his house and subdue it. Don't you know that every husband must consider them as the weaker vessel physically? Not in the mental state, but as a weaker vessel in the sense that they're called to cover them spiritually and naturally. So what's that naturally? How does that look? That means when the enemy comes to attack the home, it should not be the wife praying. It should be the husband's praying. That means when the demon comes to destroy the household, destroy the marriage, destroy the children, it should not be the wives beating you to church. See, the reason why there's chaos in the home is because there are more women in church than men. You only find that in the church. You don't find that in the Islamic faith. You don't find that in the mosque. It's only in the church. Well, for some odd reason, the devil has made us become beta instead of alpha. Oh. The Bible says consider them as the weaker vessel, which means that when you're going through, don't use them as a trash can. And you just talking in all your problems, dumping all your problems on them, and you're supposed to be a man. Someone said God's getting rid of the sons of Ahab too. You stress out instead of you going to God in prayer, you're talking to them. I'm going through, I don't know when I'm broke. Now she's feeling insecure. Because you're doubling your problems on her instead of going to a mentor. Come on, somebody. Every time you face a situation, the smallest situation, you want to gossip to your wife about it. Oh, I like the way you talk to me. Like, hello, you're a man. You're not a woman. Woman talk. Girlfriend, I feel you. Some of y'all saying, girlfriend, I feel you. What you mean, girlfriend? You're a man. So when you acknowledge him as a weaker vessel, you take initiative. They're taking initiative with everything. You just follow, oh, hey, that's a good idea. Thank you. No, you got to take initiative. Come on. I know this is a generation of divas, but you got to jump up and say, I'm going to be a kingdom man. I'm going to take initiative. One of the dangerous feelings that a woman can ever feel from a man is lack of security. And when a man doesn't have his things together, he causes her to feel insecure. Oh, God, talk to me, somebody. You got to treat them as the weaker vessel. Okay, now watch this. Watch this. For you have to have an intelligent regard for the marriage. Men, when we don't care about our marriage, when we don't care to invest in our marriage, we will cause our marriage to falter. The enemy will come to subdue all that's within a house. Because God is truly in covenant with the man. He's not in covenant in so much in a way, he's not in covenant with the woman. He's in covenant with the man. The man is God's delegated authority. He delegates God's command to the woman follows it, and then the children are blessed by it. When men are out of order, guess what happens? Nothing great happens in that house. When men have a mediocre mind, when they have a poverty mind, they're going to transfer that in the house. They can be speaking in tongues with a poverty mind. They can be speaking in tongues and praising God, know how to preach with a small mind. And the woman saying, wow, how can I follow this when my vision is bigger than theirs? Okay. Someone said, we bring the king to the house. Watch this. Watch this with gentleness and tact. And since she's a woman, so when she raises her voice, no, you don't raise your voice. When she raises her voice, you play the cool game. Woman, calm down. It's going to be okay. When you know they got something about you, don't get upset and say, I'm just taking to prayer. You know they're talking about you. Just play it off. I love you anyway. We're going to see, let's see some counsel. Because I got to let you vent. I don't want you to vent to the wrong person. Let's go see some counsel. But what happens? When we hear them gossiping, let me tell you something about single women. You want to get married, and single men you want to get married, you better check their household. You better check their past, their family background. Because if they're close, if the husband is close to his brother, if the husband is close to his best friend, you're going to marry the best friend too. If the wife is close to the sister or the mother, you're going to marry them too. They're going to come in, you might as well have a threesome. They're all in your business. You better evaluate and see who they're connected to. Because I'm telling you, your stuff is going to spill. They're going to know everything about your house. Sometimes we don't look at that. We just, I just love Johnny. And you just totally disregard his whole family background. You got a toothless uncle, you got a broke dad, you just overlook all of that. And then when you marry them, here comes the family, here comes the family. Now you connected to the whole family. I'm talking to the singles. Don't be so ready and hasty. Okay? They might be nice, but they might just be a puppet. And you didn't see the mother behind them. You didn't see the dad that was triggering them. I want to make like my dad. They just puppets because they don't know their existence. You thought you married someone that was independent, but then you realized they came from a codependent family. They can't make up their mind. They were successful externally, but then when you married them, you saw who was pulling the triggers. Okay, some say we need a kingdom in the house. I'm going too long on this point. Now watch. I'm going to show you why. Now look at this last point here. As with someone physically weaker, since she is a woman, show her honor and respect as a fellow of the grace of life. Here it is. So that your prayers will not be ineffective. Listen to me. Which means that when there's disagreement in the home, your prayers are hindered. When there is no true harmony in the home, I don't care how much you pray, God will not hear that prayer. He says your prayers will be hindered when there is no agreement in the home. It will be ineffective. I'm going on a 3-day fast. Or are you in agreement with your partner? No, I'm going to do that fast. You just wasted the fast. It's not going to move heaven because heaven moved by laws. Heaven moved by protocol. He says, make sure you show her honor. Make sure that wife submit to her husband so that when they pray together, they can receive the blessing of the Lord. When they pray together, Jesus will be in the midst. And Jesus said, I will do anything that you ask if y'all can come to an agreement. If y'all can't come to an agreement, my Father will not do what you say. And we're wondering why the blessings of God are not coming into the house is because the foundation of agreement is not intact. Principle 2, stay intimate and close. Stay intimately and closely connected in the home to boost positive self-esteem for kingdom success in your family. That's second master key. Stay intimately and closely connected to the what? Home to boost positive self-esteem for kingdom success in your family. When a spouse is dealing with low self-esteem, when children is dealing with low self-esteem, it's because there's no true intimate, close connection there. Whenever the mother is not intimately close to the child will lose positive self-esteem. Whenever the marriages are not closely connected together, they will lose self-esteem. And when there is no positive self-esteem being boosted in the house, guess what's going to be attracted to that house? Misery. The thing that brings wealth into the home, the thing that brings blessings in the home, the thing that brings breakthrough in the home is positive self-esteem. And when there is no closeness, when there is no intimacy, when there is no flow of communication, that means someone is insecure to share how they really feel. Someone said we got to boost positive self-esteem. Tell me again, so we got to boost positive self-esteem. No way, none of our children should be thinking about committing suicide. No way should none of our spouses be thinking about killing themselves. The reason why that is happening is because there is no true positive self-esteem. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1 to 9. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Now this is really scary. Now, women of God, I'm trying to tell you, the singles, I got the singles again. I had to find a way to put some principles in for y'all. Make sure, are y'all ready for this? Make sure, are y'all really ready for this? Make sure you are not a serial fornicator. Make sure you keep your body intact for the one that God sends. I thought y'all was ready for that one. Listen. Because you are not used to being by yourself, you feel like you need somebody there all the time. That spirit will cause you to miss the one that God sends. And when you have that spirit on you, it's impossible for you to truly be intimate with someone spiritually. When God raises up you to find the one that He's connecting you with, He raises you up spiritually so that you can give spiritual life to the one that you're connected to. But when you don't give God the access to develop your spirit man, you will always be dependent and codependent, which means that you cannot produce life in the relationship. That's why when the trouble comes, when the storm comes and attacks certain people in their family, they cannot receive the blessing is because the moment their husband mess up, the moment their wife mess up, they're looking for another. Okay, I'm going to show you the scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Listen what Paul says. Now as to the matters of which you wrote, it is good, beneficial, advantageous for a man not to touch the Amplified says outside marriage. Listen to me. But because of the temptation to participate in sexual immorality, fornication, let each man have his own wife and let each woman have her own. Let me deal with this. Because he tells us right here in the text that, listen, if you are not married, restrain from fornication. I know the church don't preach about that. I know that's an ancient text, right? And you got people that are brave enough to stay together, have sex with each other, and not be married. They're bolder than me. I fear God. Look at your answer, neighbor. Do you fear God? If I can't control myself, I'm going to find the next best thing. Oh, I'm just waiting to get married because my finances are not right. But don't have sex. Wait. When y'all been together for 5 years. When y'all get married? I'm just waiting for my finances to get right. Okay, but Are you waiting to control yourself? Are you waiting to get right in the bed? No. I don't know. I got to have that right now. But I'm going to get my finances right. That's how the devil works. So they keep this person on a rabbit trail. And after the 7th year where they don't like him, I'm broken up with you. I was never married with you. But you took advantage of them. So you never put a ring on them. So that's what Paul says, listen, don't give yourself to fornication. If you want to give yourself to fornication, if you want to give your body away, make sure you marry first. Now you do have people that they don't shack. They just roommates. You do have male and female roommates. And in church we can't say, oh, they're shacking up. Because if they're not having sex, then it's quite biblical to be a male and female and still be in the same house and not have sex and still be holy. Did y'all know that? It's quite biblical. The Bible says later on in this text, it says, listen, if you can't control yourself, then marry. But if you can just restrain yourself, it's okay to be with that person in the house. You'll find that later on in this text. But what happens is, we want to be there, and we want to be in the master bedroom, forget the couch. Put me in the master bedroom, you sleep on that side, I sleep on that side. And we have no fear for God. Let me hide down this text. There's some stones about to throw at me. Let me hide down this text real quick. Someone said, thy kingdom come. Kingdom cannot come when there's disorder. The husband must fulfill his marital duties to his wife. God, why are you getting me in trouble? Paul. Why are you getting me in trouble, Paul? The husband must fulfill his marital duty with his wife and goodwill and kindness, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have exclusive authority over her own body, but the husband shares with her, and likewise the husband does not have exclusive authority over his body, but the wife what? Shares with him. Okay, you want to see kingdom in your household? Y'all got to be intimate. Someone say, Lord, deliver my spouse from the headache ministry. Some of y'all need to be delivered from the headache ministry. You tired. Your body is not yours. Y'all looking at me like I'm preaching BT or something. That's the Bible. I'm preaching the Bible. I didn't make it. Paul said that. You want to have authority over your body. You want to determine the schedule when y'all make love. No. When your spouse is ready, don't say, let's schedule this out. Let's wait till Friday. Your body is not your own. But what happens is, okay, I can't get close with you because I'm thinking about what happened to me in the past. No. All things have passed away. You are delivered from the curse of the law. I'm telling you, there's a psychological problem because people are dealing with so many issues, they can't get close to their spouse. And when their spouse gets close to them, they start sweating in their palms. When their spouse gets close to them, it irks them. They want to throw up. Wait a minute, your spouse is trying to kiss you, you want to throw up? Come on, let's go to the apostle. Let's deliver you from that demon. Come on, let's deliver you from that demon. Don't touch me. What do you mean don't touch you? Come on, let's deal with that demon, that untouchable spirit. Come on. That untouchable spirit, come out of here. Come out. Come out in the name of Jesus. Come out. Fire. Catch fire. See, it's funny. We want every other spirit to catch fire. Send that spirit that causes you not to be close to your spouse. Someone said, thy kingdom come. Now you're abusing your spouse from neglect. And Paul said, listen, you wasn't supposed to abuse your spouse. You're supposed to be intimately connected because the devil will have leeway to control you. Let me get back to this text. I'll make some people nervous. Okay, wait. Let me show you. Look at verse 5. Someone said he's reading their Bible. Do not deprive each other of marital rights, except perhaps by mutual consent for a time, so that you may devote yourself unhindered to prayer, but what? Come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you to sin because of your lack of self-control. Listen, when you're not in agreement and intimate, the devil will come in and cause you to look over the fence. If you're not giving your spouse what he wants, the devil will come in and say, ooh, did you see how she smiled at you? Ooh, do you see how he appreciated you? When was the last time your husband appreciated you? That serpent in the grass. That serpent in the grass will come and deceive your spouse because of neglect. Paul said defraud. Don't say defraud. Do y'all know what defraud means? Y'all know what that word comes from? Hupostereo. Hupostereo means don't rob them. And we have a lot of people that are sleeping with thieves. They're robbing their spouse. Then they come to church. I am a friend of God. Come on, everybody. I'm a friend. Let's praise God. And your spouse is looking like, I wish he was my friend. Because he cares. I wish you cared for me. But because we're in America, we gotta play it off like we're happy. We're happy. And the devil just laughing. Someone said, thy kingdom come. See, the devil wants a foothold. He wants to come in and cause lack of self-control. I'm trying to tell you. Lady right here. Woo! She has the same energy as me. I couldn't even think of another person. But see, that's the type of person you want. If you're losing self-control, that means that your spouse got to do something about it. Watch this. Watch this. Whereas I am, but each person has its own what? Look, I'm in verse 7, y'all. I'm in verse 7. I know I lost some of y'all. I'm in verse 7. I know I lost some of y'all. But each person has his own gift. From what? Each person has his own. So what Paul is talking about theologically, he says some people are gifted to be single. And some people are gifted to be married. Be careful of married people that are gifted to be single. Why did you marry me if you're comfortable being single? So most marriages that are jacked up is because someone, they did not understand the gift of marriage and they wanted to be single. They thought they wanted to be married. They had that gift of singleness there. So Paul says this here. One of his kind and one of that. But I say to the unmarried and to the widows, that is a practical matter. It is good if they remain single. If you can't be intimate with nobody, stay single. If you can't be connected with anybody and love them and cherish them according to God's word, stay single. Don't want a spouse because your best friend got a spouse. You want everything you see because everybody has it, and when you get married, I know this. I know marriages like this. Whoa. They dirty clothes. Whoa, man, they stink. I thought that was pretty all the time. I thought I married an angel. Did he just fart? What? I didn't sign up for this. If you want to be single, stay. Okay, so that's why Paul said, listen, I'm comfortable being single. Paul said, I'm comfortable being single because I know that if I'm married, I have to give my time to my wife. I'm so passionate about Jesus, I understand the time is coming. I got to be single. So Paul said,